Hey, good morning and welcome to a morning with Mike. It's Monday morning. I hope you are starting off your day absolutely fantastic. So each Monday morning, I go live here at 7:15 a.m. Mountain Time, and I would love for you to join me. So make sure and mark your calendar. Click the subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, click the bell. Share this with a friend. The whole idea behind it, I share a little bit here from the New Living Translation. This is Every Man's Bible here. This morning, we're going to do a little differently. I'm going to share a reading. This is a devotional by Sarah Young. It's called Jesus Calling. And every once in a while, I get into this book each week, each year. Sometimes I just go through. It's got a really good perspective and good reminders. So this morning, we're going to be getting into Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6. Good morning, Weldon. It's nice to see you this morning. So the reason I'm getting into Hebrews 11:6 is because that's what the devotional has to do with here. And so I'm going to read first just from the scripture and then from the book, and then we'll have a little conversation. And we're going to take off and make our day great, make our week great, and just go from there. So hope you're starting off great so far. I think I've said great a whole bunch of times this morning. Sometimes you have those days. It's so funny because I was thinking about this verse last night. And by the time I got up this morning, I was going, oh man, I'd done all, kind of my planning. And I couldn't remember the exact verse. So here we go. We'll give it a shot this Monday. Sometimes we have those. So Hebrews 11:6, and it's impossible to please God without faith. Anyone who wants to come to him must believe that God exists and that he rewards those who sincerely seek him. Now, taken all by itself, this verse presents a truth which is really easy to understand, right? God's first and foremost concern is with our faith and our attitude and our actions towards him and our trust in him, right? Rather than in our own actions or in the weight that other people may have to influence us. And so in some way, we could start to think, well, that makes what I do unimportant. And that's not true. It doesn't make our behaviors unimportant. On the contrary, what we do truly reflects what we believe. So I'd like to read from this devotional. It's Jesus Calling, if anyone ever wants to get this and follow along. I think it's a really great book by Sarah Young. And this is kind of based around Hebrews 11:6. Beware of seeing yourself through other people's eyes. There are several dangers to this practice. First of all, it's nearly impossible to discern what others actually think of you. And that's true, isn't it? Moreover, their views of you are variable, subject to each viewer's spiritual, emotional, and physical condition. The major problem with letting others define you is that it borders on idolatry. Your concern to please others dampens your desire to please me, your creator. That is a really powerful statement. It is absolutely where it says the major problem with letting others define you is that it borders on idolatry, and where it talks about each viewer's, they're variable. So people see you differently at different times based on where they are at. So if we're putting weight in the opinions of others, then what happens is if they're in a good spiritual place, if they're in a good emotional place, if they're in a good physical condition and they're confident in where they are, then oftentimes that reflects from them onto us. And so they say, so everything is good. But the moment that things get stressful or frustrating, or we experience some anxiety, or people are not in a good spiritual or emotional place, it could be that same person, very different opinion, right? We've all experienced that. The risk is that we do that to ourselves too. And so if we're in a good spiritual, emotional, or physical place, when we're viewing ourselves, when we're formulating an opinion of ourselves, then it will be good. And likewise, if we're in a bad spot, if we're going through a rough patch, it's easy to be significantly more critical of ourselves based on where our attitude sits. Hey, good morning, Joe. I think it is going to be a great day. I said that a few times. Leave it to Joe, man. Hey, Chris, I saw you did the 22 for 22. I love it, man. Thank you for participating with me in that. I really do. So I'm going to finish the reading here. It says, it is much more real to see yourself through my eyes. My gaze upon you is steady and sure, untainted by sin. Through my eyes, you can see yourself. Let's start that over. Through my eyes, you can see yourself as one who is deeply, eternally loved. Rest in my loving gaze and you will receive deep peace. Respond to my loving presence by worshiping me in spirit and in truth. So that's where it's really rooted in that Hebrews 11:6. And it's impossible to please God without faith. Anyone who wants to come to him must believe that God exists and that he rewards those who sincerely seek him. So one of the big keys is that you can't just be going through the motions, right? That's not what God's looking for. Taken out of context, this verse can point to kind of a blind faith, right? We've got, well, that's wishful thinking. And it's really important that even if others don't know or don't think that we're going through the motions, or we're just going through the motions in the moment, know that God does know that, right? So what happens is you have to have a very godly faith and trust. We have to rely on our faith in God and looking to the future and obeying, even when we don't fully understand the details. We have to move forward with full action and 100% faith in what it is that he is calling us to do. That's one of those things. When we're called to live in our purpose, when we're called to be able to move forward, when we're called to make or take actions, then it doesn't matter what it is that those outside forces, what people are thinking of us, what sometimes even what we're thinking of ourselves. It's so easy to fall into that. So let's see. Joe says it's going to be great. Share the show. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. And let's see. I really think the most powerful statement where it talks to me this morning is, when it says right here, it says, beware of seeing yourself through other people's eyes. Their views of you are variable, subject to each viewer's spiritual, emotional, and physical condition. You have to be really wary of that. Like, God knows that true self. God knows that true purpose. And it's really amazing how much truth there can be in just a small bit of scripture. And even I, when I'm sharing these morning verses, it's like I'm sharing where this is speaking to me in the moment. And when I was reading that last night, it was like, that's where it's speaking to me, and I want to come out and share it. And so we want to be certain that we know what the context of the verse is, what the context is, what we're speaking about. But then also it is going to speak to us differently when we're in a different emotional state, a different physical condition, and where we're at spiritually in our journey. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Just make sure that you spread kindness, spread love, share your faith with other people when they want to hear it. Sometimes when they don't, they need to hear it, and that's cool too. Please do me a favor. If you gain something from this episode, share it out, share the show. And I look forward to seeing you again next Monday morning. We'll see you soon, everybody.